Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the recent Karnataka Caste Census data that has come out in the public and how the government is trying to increase the reservation quota for different segments of the society. Specifically, we talk about the backward section of society and how it can be deemed as unconstitutional in the eyes of the laws, especially in the eyes of judiciary, taking into account the previous decisions and the verdict of Supreme Court. So let us try to understand what this overall judgment, what overall this caste census talks about, and how the changes in reservation are expected. Now we know that recently the Socio-Economic and Educational Survey, that is how the caste census has largely been named, the report was made public, which was accepted by the Karnataka government, and it has proposed an increase in the reservation benefit for the OBC, that is other backward classes. Currently it exists at around 32%. So it says that now the OBC's representation, reservation can further be increased to 51% of all the seats in the government jobs or in the educational institution. This will result in total reservation in the state going up to 85%, because apart from 51% of the reservation Karnataka government gives to the OBC class, it also has secured 10% reservation for the EWS and 24% for the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribe. So if you join and if you add all these figures, the total reservation will be 85%. Now the survey puts the backward classes population to be around 70% of the state population. In other way, this is also the way how they are trying to justify it, because the government says that because the backward class makes 70% of the population, getting a percentage share of 51 in the reservation is something that should not be considered as wrong or bad as such. Now, if you look at the report itself, it was submitted by the former chairman of Karnataka State Commission for Backward Classes, that is K. Jayaprakash Hegde, in year 2024. And before that, it was based on the survey that was conducted during the tenure of H. Kantharaj in 2015. And the survey includes almost 5.98 crore population of the state, and the total population of the state talk about was projected to be about 6.35 crore in 2015. So almost we can say 90% of the population of the state were surveyed here. Now let us take a look at the classification that the Karnataka government uses to classify different sections of the society. Now within the other backward classes also you have three different classification. One that is called as category 1, where you have the most backward class are put that currently receive a reservation benefit of 4%. For example, you have the Uppara, Golla and several other nomadic communities are part of this group. Then you have the section 2A, where you have more backward class and they enjoy a reservation benefit of 15%. Then you have section 2B, that is the other more backward class basically, and where they have the religion based, you can see the differentiation where Muslims are put into this category. And for current situation you talk about, in present scenario, the total reservation for Muslims are at 4%. Then you have 3A and 3B, where you have backward class category classification as well, and they collectively have a reservation of 9%, where you have 12 communities such as Vokkaliga, Reddy and all, and then you have Veer Shaiva, Lingayat and other 42 subcaste, Jains and Christians are also put into this particular category. So if you calculate all the percentage 1, 2 and 3 in these three categories of the backward class, total percentage of reservation comes out to be about 15, 4, 20, 19, then 23, 27 and 32. So 32%. Similarly, SCs enjoy 17% of the reservation and STs have a 7% reservation quota. So this comes out to be 24%. EWS has total of 10. So currently it comes out to be 66%. Now it is interesting to observe that SC, the Supreme Court in the earlier judgment has put a ceiling reservation to be maximum 50%. So even in the present situation, present case you talk about, this ceiling has already been breached in the Karnataka, which if further rises will be around 80, more than 80%. Now in this particular caste census, there are certain key changes that were made in the proposal. The first change was several new categories have been included, as we have discussed, apart from what we have talked about category 1, 2, 3. So category 1 if we talk about has been further split into 1A and 1B. In the 1A category, this is largely the nomadic castes, that means who are moving from one place to another places, they will put, and in 1B, there will be the other caste which will be having specific allocations based on education and employment metric. Similarly, you have the reallocation of caste that is being done as well. Many of the communities such as Kurubas who were earlier in the category 2A, now they have been moved to category 1B and also their reservation percentage has been adjusted. For example, you talk about the Vukkaligas who are in the category 3A. Now their reservation percentage is proposed to be 7% higher than the earlier one. And the Lingayat subcaste in the category 3B, their proposed percentage of reservation has been further increased to 8%. Similarly, as we have discussed, the Muslims who are placed in category 2B, they currently enjoy the reservation benefit in the 4% of the seats. So for there also, the percentage of reservation has been increased to 8%. And the government has said that this is a reflection of the socio-economic backwardness that has been cleared by the caste census that was recently held. Not only that, the most important development is in the application of creamy layer. For example, this creamy layer application has been extended on the basis of income exclusion to all the OBC categories, whether it is in category 1 to the prioritize the most category 1 to prioritize the most disadvantaged section of the population. So these are 4 major changes that the proposal largely talks about. Now, if you look at the overall percentage of different sections in the Karnataka. Example, you talk about general category as per the you talk about the population of various caste category as per the survey. In total surveyed population, we have discussed about 5.98 crore. So scheduled caste makes up about 18.2%. We already have discussed that the OBC is what they call as making up 70%. Then we have Muslims that make up 12.58%, Lingayats 11%, Vokkaligas 10%. Then you have Kurubas, they make up 7%, scheduled tribe 7%, and then you have general category making up the 5%. Now, there is a proper justification that is being given by the government and all the proponents who believe that increasing the reservation of OBCs is justified, and they have given several reasons behind this. For example, first they say that increasing the reservation will also be helpful in addressing the historical inequities, because as per the recent census, it is clear that though OBC has such a huge share in the population, they seem to be underrepresented both in the higher education or in the government job. So increasing the reservation benefit will also help in tackling this historical inequities. Why historical inequities? The reason they say that this underrepresentation is because of the historical injustices they have faced in the past, and also the lack of opportunity they have faced in the past, and that is something which we need to change now. Second, if talk about the proportional representation fact, because 70% of Karnataka's population supporters contend that 51% reservation aligns with their demographic weight. For example, the ceiling of 50% that the Supreme Court has imposed, many of the experts argue that this was based on the 1931 census, and from since 1931 today, the share of percentage especially of the OBC's population or OBC's other backward class have increased significantly, and that is why the reservation benefit extended to them, their percentage should also increase to reflect this proportional change as such. Then third point is obviously the social justice and inclusion. This also refers to basically the historical injustices many of these communities and society have faced. So to correct this, rectify this, increasing the percentage of reservation is a way forward. And last, because we have discussed that whether the increasing the percentage to more than 80% is it constitutional. So there are precedent in other states that Karnataka government has referred to. For example, talk about the state of Tamil Nadu. If you look at the reservation there, they are providing 69% reservation. Similarly, you talk about the state of Jharkhand, there also they have proposed recommendation of 77% as per the backward class population, because in these two states also the backward class population has a humongous share in the overall population, and this percentage of reservation reflect this social reality. So it is not the Karnataka that is going to become the first state to breach or the 50% ceiling or increase the quota to such a high extent. Already it has been done in the two states of India. So based on these four grounds and reasoning, the reservation increase for the OBCs are being justified. Now, if you take a look at the constitutional validity of this particular step, so first of all, if you look at the reservation itself, it is a constitutional in nature, because the Article 15 subsection 4 and 16 subsection 4 clearly specifies that the government of India and the state governments of India can mandate reservation benefit and extend reservation benefit for the people on the basis of social and educational backwardness. And it is on this basis the percentage reservation for these classes are being or have been increased and or can be increased. Now, on the other hand, if you look at the verdict or landmark verdict the Supreme Court came up with in the 1992, that is popularly referred as Indira Sahni case. Now, in the Indira Sahni case, Supreme Court has put a maximum cap of 50% on the reservation. That means no states of India can have a reservation benefit, can extend reservation benefit that can be more than 50% of total. So it balances the affirmative action with the merit based opportunities, because obviously Supreme Court has argued that extending reservation benefit is obviously a way forward in ensuring the affirmative action, especially to the societies and the caste and classes which have faced historical injustices. But at the same time, we also have to ensure the merit based opportunities that the general classes of people, general sections, general segment of society might not get if the reservation exceed 50% cap. Now, a total 85% of total reservation that the Karnataka is proposing will obviously exceed this limit, and because of this, even if the Karnataka government goes ahead with it, it will risk the judicial scrutiny, because obviously the cases and the petitions will be filed in the High Court and Supreme Court, and unless and until it is exempted through constitutional amendments or a special provision, this provision or extending the reservation benefit, exceeding the reservation benefit, will have to be rolled back. Now, the creamy layers expansion to all OBC categories, the fourth change we have discussed, that is done by the Karnataka government, may also face legal challenges, because this decision also alters the existing framework, and this existing framework is applicable nationally. So without any uniform national guidelines or change in the national guidelines, changing such kind of expansion or carrying out such kind of expansion, changing the framework that classifies the creamy layers, can also be what you can call as challenged in the judiciary and the courts. Now, apart from the cases of Tamil Nadu and Jharkhand, two other states where you can look at the early cases, recent cases where the states were trying to increase the reservation benefit. One was Bihar, where the total reservation of 65% was proposed, but this was struck down by the judiciary in year 2024. Similarly, if you look at the other state in the South India, that is Telangana, it also has proposed 42% of reservation for the other backward class. So, Tamil Nadu, Jharkhand, Bihar and Telangana, these are the four states where already such kind of steps have been taken, and Karnataka is going to be the next stage. However, the reason why court has struck down these provisions or this such huge increase in the percentage of reservation to the other backward class is because they have said that this grapples with the balancing of reservation demand against the legal and social constraints. So, Mandal Commissions talk about, it was the most landmark, can understand, development that has happened in the case of the reservation in the case of India. So, Mandal Commission has recommended implementation of 27% of the quota for the OBCs in the government jobs or in the education institution based on the 1931 census, where it agreed that about 52% of the population of India are OBC. So 52%, that is by 27%. So that is why many states also have argued that this figure is very old. We have so many census that has been held at a decadal basis. So we should again have a fresh caste census, maybe at all India level, and then we can understand that how the OBC percentage population has increased, and based on that we should also revise the percentage quota recommended for the OBC. So such demands have grown louder and louder in the recent time, and the manifestation of this is what we are seeing in the case of, or recent case of, Karnataka. That is all about this particular video. I hope you got the idea behind what is the controversy surrounding the Karnataka's caste census and the government's proposal to increase the percentage share of reservation for the other backward class, and what kind of constitutional hurdle it can face in the coming future. So that is all for this video. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with your aspirants, as well as subscribe to our channel for more such content. Thank you very much.